Hello, ABG is back, and today we are doing yet another episode of our ABG interview series. And I'm very happy to be able to interview one of my first few friends in the industry. He's a board game designer, illustrator, and a board game blogger himself. And he also recently successfully launched a game on Kickstarter. So let us welcome Jonas.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, Zoom interviews are always more cold than your normal situation. That's just how it is. Anyway, we are having to do this on Zoom because if you are watching this video in months and years to come, currently Singapore, we are in a circuit breaker situation, which means that we have to perform social distancing. It's from early April up till 1st June, hopefully. This is the year 2020, so if you're watching this in 2022 and you're wondering what's going on, we are fighting a war. Yeah, we're fighting a war against a virus. So if you're watching this and we're still fighting COVID, please do stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and as much as you want to be meeting your friends to play board games, I would suggest you stay clear from that for the time being until everything is good, and then we can enjoy the games in time to come. So, Jonas, you want to introduce yourself a bit? I introduced a bit of you, but you may have some more things to say about yourself.
Okay, I'm Jonas. I studied graphic design, but my passion was always for game design, specifically analog design games. So I've been designing games since I was in university, and most of my courses were geared towards game design. So after working for a bit, I came out and started my own graphic design business because I needed the money to design games. You need some cash flow, yeah. So after designing, doing my business for 2 years, I decided that it was time for me to actually design a game and publish it. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now, designing board games, and hopefully everyone will be happy to play my games.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Jonas recently had a Kickstarter project launch and successfully funded, I think earlier this year. And the name of the game is Saucy Grannies. If you haven't heard of the game, I'm going to put the link to the review video that I did somewhere here. And you can go and watch it. And when it's available for retail sale, go get it if you feel that the gameplay is fun, things look attractive to you. So, Jonas, I think a lot of people who are interested in the industry, especially in Singapore where the industry is not very well established yet, they may not know what actually happened after the Kickstarter project kind of is concluded, like when it's funded, before it becomes delivered. So tell us what happens usually, or in your case, what happens after a game is successfully kickstarted? Like what
Okay.
do you do after they tell you funding, yes, successful and all that?
Okay, so maybe I run through the entire process for kickstarting a game, right? So designing a game is only the start of doing a Kickstarter campaign, right? You design a game, you do your play testing, you develop, and then you do the artwork, right? But at this point of time, the game is not completed yet, because during the campaign itself, there will be suggestions from the backers for you to decide whether you want to make any more changes to the game. Because these suggestions usually point out the more major flaws that are very obvious. So these are the things that you need to solve while you are going through your campaign. So after the campaign, I think I do, what people usually do, and in our case, this is what we are doing, is that we are looking at the game and making sure that it is flawless, right? At least in our opinion, before we decide to say yes, let's print this. This is a game that everybody will enjoy. So after the Kickstarter campaign, we'll take one day to celebrate, right? After celebrating, we will get together. We'll do a meet with the team and see if we have anything else that we want to change. On top of that, for our campaign, we had posts. So the posts were more specifically for artwork that still needed to be done to be included as exclusives for the Kickstarter campaign. So we did that. And right now what we are doing is we are talking to the factories to make sure that the print will come out nice, the colors are done well, there won't be any more mistakes. Then once that is done, we will do the print files, check the print files, make sure that everything's okay. Then we'll start with actual production. And in the process of all this, we'll also collect the addresses from the backers, because we need to ship the games to them, right?
Yeah.
So after this, we will print and then ship. That's the final portion of the fulfillment portion of Kickstarter. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for telling us in very great detail. I mean, being in Singapore, especially now during this COVID-19 situation, I'm sure that poses a lot more issues for the post-Kickstarter project more than anything, given that a lot of things come to a standstill. Factories are not working, people are social distancing, people are working from home. Yeah, so I'm sure these are some of the challenges everyone is facing, I guess, not just board game designers from Singapore. I believe personally everyone who is involved in producing anything in the market is getting delays. Even established brand names have their games I don't know, 6 months, 1 year or so. So for backers for Saucy Grannies, are we good to go in terms of timeline?
Yes. From the publishers, what the publisher told me, we are still good. There might be a bit of delay, bad things could happen, but we touch wood, nothing happens, right? But
so far so good.
There could be delays. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But so far, from how we have been talking to the factories, it still seems to be fine in terms of timeline. Yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, coming back to a non-COVID world, I mean, being in Singapore as a game designer, what do you think is the toughest challenge you face?
Non-COVID world?
Yeah, I mean, as in,
I'm
sure it's challenging as it is already, whether with or without COVID.
Yeah.
Singapore.
I guess in terms of game designers' point of view, right? I think the greatest challenge is finding a well-established publisher to pitch your games to. Not that the industry is not growing. We are growing in Singapore, but you can tell that the giants are all still in the US or Europe. So these are the people that game designers will want to go and talk to, because they will have a much wider reach than a local publisher. So that is one of the issues.
So mainly geographical distance is one of the biggest challenges. I mean, just purely on the basis that we are not in the part of the world where board gaming or tabletop gaming or analog gaming is is as popular as it is over there.
Yes.
I mean, it's always the demand and supply question. If demand is...
I would say the main problem would be demand. Even if the industry grows in Singapore, because we are such a small country, it will be hard for publishers to say, okay, let's target Singapore, because there is just not enough people that are buying games to make a profit out of selling board games. Yeah. So I think that is one big issue we are facing, not just as a game designer, but as an industry in Singapore. Yeah. Which is why I'm looking at publishers, local publishers and designers that are working with the region, which is something that I'm very very happy to see, because it is definitely essential for us to talk to designers and publishers from Malaysia, from Thailand, from Korea or Indonesia. Just within a region where there's more population, there's more people willing to buy games and play games. Yeah.
Actually, I think the irony, even though we are in Singapore, technically we are in Southeast Asia, we are in Asia, is that we actually have more than half of the humans alive living in our country. Yet, the amount of people buying games are still not there yet. I think there's always a stereotype with Asians. I mean, we have seen stereotypes on Asian moms. All day only telling kids to study. There are certain job stereotypes that certain races will always work towards. So probably it's a cultural thing that we are still going in. And Singapore being a country, I mean, as prosperous as the world think we are, I think in terms of the fact that we come through somewhat of an industrial revolution to what we are today, I think our investment in arts, where, I mean, technically board gaming will be a form of art. It's still not established yet, or we still don't get enough government support, or we still don't get enough. I mean, the interest level is still not as high as some or the other maybe pure art form that the government is looking towards in terms of your dance, your music, your visual art. So yeah, so I mean that's something that we may be lacking a bit in Singapore. At least that's my view. So it seems like you are also echoing face in Singapore in terms of reach. So in that case, what is next then for Jonas, the board game designer? What's the next project, or what's or what is to come next?
I'm actually working on 2 games right now. One of them is called Tug of War. It's a let me say that it is a slightly social deduction plus gambling game. Yeah. I don't remember whether you played this before.
Plus gambling game.
Plus gambling.
Gambling.
Not really gambling. It's more like betting.
Gambling. The notion, if we use the word gambling, may not be that great. So probably social deduction plus push your luck. Not there.
Okay, maybe the word gambling is not right, but it's betting. Definitely there's betting.
There's a betting element to it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a betting element. Yeah.
So that's...
Yep, so that one's one of the games that I'm working on. The other game is a game for couples. It is a asymmetrical engine building game for couples, only for 2 players. So both players will play very differently, but what I want the process to feel like is that both players are helping each other to achieve what both of them need to do. Yeah. So the theme of the game is mainly surrounding a couple that have gone to their honeymoon, but they are being attacked by monsters. So they need to protect their honeymoon getaway. Yeah. So that is the second game that I'm working on right now.
Okay, so is the first game coming out in 2020, maybe 2021? I don't know. Is there a timeline? Not yet.
Hopefully, if COVID clears, let's hope and pray that it clears very well for the entire world, right? So that all of us can go back to what we have been doing. If that happens, I'll most likely try to pitch the game to a few publishers and see how that goes.
Okay, great. So
yep,
we look forward to newer games and hopefully COVID clears sooner. I think that's what the world is hoping for now. So Jonas, I also understand that you do run a board game blog.
Yeah, I do.
Want to tell us a bit more and do some self-promoting there? So far, I think among all the people that come or that has been into an interview, you're probably one of the few that hasn't actively been talking about what you have, what you're doing, what you're doing. So I'm giving you an opportunity to share more about your blog.
Yeah. Okay, so my blog is called TabletopTavern blog. It was actually a blog for myself, to be honest, because after going through university and running my own business, during this period of time, I really didn't have much time to play games, actually, because I was always busy doing my projects, always busy doing business. So there was a long period of time where I stopped playing games, and that was something that I was quite frustrated with, because it was my passion, but I didn't have time for it, right? So the blog was for me to document the games that I played after leaving my business. So after I left my business, I decided that I needed to start playing games again. So when I started playing games, I decided that, okay, since I'm playing games, why not talk about the games that I enjoyed and what I can learn from it, because my goal was always to publish my own game, right? So Tabletop Tavern has my first impressions on what I feel are the best games in the industry. I will give you insights on how the graphic design helps with the game design and what I feel are the intentions of the designers. What are the experiences that the designers actually want the players to have. How they did it through their game design, how they simplified it, how they added design elements to make the user interface, how they made the user experience as good as it can be, and in the process making the games as good as they can be. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing like maybe 3 months before I started working on my own game, because I needed to get more used to the modern game design, because previously I was playing classics, right? So after a period of time, I was like, oh, there are all these other games that I haven't played, they are all so good, right? So I felt very, very left behind. So over the months before I started continuing to do my own game design, I decided that I had to play all of them and make sure that I knew the mechanics inside out before I could start on my own game. Yeah. So I did that, and I'm continuing to do that actually. Playing games and studying them, making sure that I know my stuff before I design something and let others play. Yeah. So that is TabletopTavern.blog. I hope that my thoughts about the games that I write in my blog will be helpful to the readers, because I have some feedback on my blog post. They're saying that these readers are saying that my blog posts are actually quite helpful, because they give them a preview of what the game is like and who will actually enjoy the game. So if you are really not sure about what you should be buying, maybe just take a look at the blog, see what games are suitable for you, what you might like before you make your purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you rather not watch videos and you prefer to read blog posts, I'll link Jonas's blog in the description below. So if you prefer to watch videos, then of course please subscribe.
Or if you prefer to look at pictures, you can also follow me on Instagram.
So, okay, actually that's pretty much all the questions that I have. Yeah. So if you enjoy videos like this, do give the video a like, share with your friends. More videos are at the side. Click below to subscribe. For some weird reason now, the viewership between subscribed to non-subscribed people is like 96% non-subscribers viewing the video. So please do subscribe if you do enjoy the video, so you can get the latest when they're out. Click on the notification bell to get notified when our videos are out. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.